Our Mr. Stay, because it is our Mr. Stay, 2017. Thank you so much for all of you who've made the effort today to come and honour the wonderful, wonderful, legendary Cy Grant. It was only, you can see now, it's about 9 years ago that I was actually in the front room with Cy Grant, discussing the meaning of life, amongst other things. I've shared that particular conversation with his children, so I won't go into that with you today. But what I would like to do, before we have a fantastic commemoration, is how we usually do this, is we usually have an intermediate between us mere mortals and the wonderful forces that govern us. And as such, we have somebody who can act as that medium. A very, 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 very special man, and a dear friend of Cy as well. So, before we start the proceedings, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have a libation.
Okay.
And at this point, I'd like to welcome the wonderful, wonderful Augustus John.
Well, friends, it is good that we are all here. I've never been called a medium before, and I don't know that I actually own that title. What I'm going to do, however, is to reverently acknowledge that we are mind, body, and spirit, and that when others put our body into the ground, we don't just disappear into the ether. Cy, as we all know, was a deeply spiritual person, a spiritualism that did not have its origins in religion, faith, and belief, but in the essence of humanity itself. And so, in African tradition, we acknowledge those who've gone before, the spirit that dwells within us now, and those who are yet to come. And we do this typically by using a clear liquid. Sometimes it's water, but sometimes we progress and elevate to something as perfect as Ray and Nephew. And today we will use Ray and Nephew. So whether you're a believer or not, and I don't too much care what faith you profess, I'm asking you to put yourself in the moment as we summon up the spirit of Cy, those who went before him, those who went before each and every one of us. Praise, honor, and glory to Mother, Father, Spirit, God. Ashe.
Ashe.
We salute the spirit of Egun, spirit of the ancestors. Ashe.
Ashe.
We salute the spirit of Cy. Ashe.
Ashe.
And of his mother. Ashe.
Ashe.
And of all those in her line, male and female. Ashe.
Ashe.
We salute the spirit of his father. Ashe.
Ashe.
And all of those in his line, his mother and father, and all those who went before them. We remember all of those who with him fought in the Second World War and perished. Ashe.
Ashe.
We remember all of those who gave their lives in the First World War. Ashe.
Ashe.
We remember all soldiers and personnel who have perished in wars ever since. Ashe.
Ashe.
We remember the victims of the war in the Congo. Ashe.
Ashe.
We remember the victims of inter-ethnic conflict in Rwanda and Burundi. We remember the spirit of all of those who died as victims of the apartheid regime in South Africa. Ashe.
Ashe.
And remember all of those who are giving their lives in current day wars perpetrated by whomsoever. Ashe.
Ashe.
We remember all of those who gave their lives in the struggle for justice and for human liberation. Ashe.
Ashe.
We remember the ascended ancestors of each and every person here. Ashe.
Ashe.
We ask the universe, the divine essence, to bless this moment and all that we do here at this time in honor of our brother Sai. Ashe.
Ashe.
We ask that even as we remember him and all that he stood for, we have regard to the quality of our own being and of our doing. Ashe. Ashe. Ashe.
Ashe.
I'm going to spray this to the four corners, east, west, north, south. Those of you who are within reach of this, you might want to cover your eyes.
No, I'm sure there's somebody spitting on me. Your namesake. There you go. Get a phlegm.
Most of us couldn't get it.
We are about to share from the holy water. Ashe.
You might need to top it up a bit. Oh, your hat's on the floor.
It's a share of goat.
Wow, that water was well holy. At this point, we have some really special people in the audience, and I can't call on everybody. But what I would like to do is call on my wonderful co-host, Joanne, who's going to assist me in facilitating this wonderful ceremony. Thank you, Professor Gus. That was very beautiful. Ladies and gentlemen, can we welcome the wonderful, irrepressible Joanne Jarrett. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. This has just been sort of chucked on me at the very last minute. Yes, it has. It's not a great day looking weather-wise, but it is, of course, a great day because we're all here for one reason, and that is to celebrate the wonderful Sai Grant. I've only actually been a member, of the Nubian Jak Community Trust since the summer. But I've learned so much, and in my research with learning about Sai Grant, he's just amazed me. He really has. I was actually telling my assistant that I can't believe that one man actually has possessed so much talent and skill. Obviously, we all know he was an RAF navigator, an actor, a wonderful singer, as we've all bear witness to today, a poet, a writer, a musician, a barrister. Sorry? No. Okay, a barrister, and just an all-round fantastic human being. And really, I'm not going to go on and on because it's not my forte, as you know, Jack. But I'm just so pleased and proud that I've been invited to come and share this with his family and close friends and colleagues. And I am looking forward to the reception that we're holding after this. So thank you very much, everyone.
Someone who knows Sai better than all of us is a member of his family. I'd like to call, if I may, the wonderful Sammy Moxie, Sammy Grant.
You drink behind.
I didn't prepare a speech. I just want to say thank you very much, everyone, for being here. And I think our dad would be very, very honoured and dreamed. Thank you, Jack, and everybody. That's it.
Ladies and gentlemen, all right, we're not going to spend too much time speaking then, but Solomon, I'm going to have to call you, because there's a guy in the audience, he's a filmmaker, his name is Solomon Garcia, and he spent the last days and years and months with Sai, filming him in here, and I'd like Solomon to tell us a little bit about the personality he got to know.
Hey!
I'm going to keep this very brief. Jack is absolutely terrible because I was not prepared for this at all. And you can see that's a local trend. This piece, so please be mindful. But yes, I spent a little time with Sai. We were making a documentary. He passed away. He gave me a lot of his archives and pictures, and he shared loads of stories with me. And I said, an amazing person, a scientist, a philosopher, an activist, a war hero. He shared some of his war hero stories that I just said to my son coming up here, and they're amazing. You know, really, let's leave it to Jack to actually unveil, and maybe we can talk later at the reception. But I won't take any more of your time. Thank you very much, Jack, for putting me in this position. A seriously amazing person who I got to know very well, and he will be missed. Thank you.
Okay, all right, so let me tell you a little bit about Sai, shall I? Okay, so we're not going to talk too much about his World War exploits, because he was so much more than that. Yeah. But I do want to share a joke with you. Sai was actually not the pilot, he was the navigator, right, in World War II. And they were flying over Holland against the Luftwaffe, going to meet the Germans. And let's just cut it short. Sai got lost, right? And and he got lost, bless him. And the plane got shot down. He got shot down, and the magic of the man is he was held captive for 2 years as a POW, a brother, and the Nazis couldn't work him out, because this was a man who was very erudite, very well educated, very well talented, and obviously when they came to interrogate him, a bit like Mastermind, you've got all the lights on you and stuff, he baffled them. So he was a very, very magical man. And when I met him in there, I won't share again our first conversation, but it was deep. It was, actually I'm not going to go there because I had a conversation with the family privately, but I love the man. He was a very, very, trust me, he was a remarkable man. And he was one of 2 people that I've met. This is our 37th plaque. We have plaques all over. We have a plaque in the Foreign Office. Only esteemed individuals are worthy of a blue plaque. And I actually met the brother that I would later, 9-10 years later, honour. So that, to me, is also a wonderful honour. Now, I have to do another surprise because amongst remarkable people in here, and I know she knows it's coming. She knows it's coming, but I'm going to have to say, I don't know if she met Sai. I would be surprised if she didn't. But Dr. Margaret, would you please say a few words?
Your turn.
Well, yes, well, I'm honoured like everybody to be here. And I did know Sai. In fact, we were both involved with something called the Drum Arts Centre. I think it was back in the 70s. In fact, I think that's when I met you for the first time, Gus, because you were also involved. And he was just a remarkable man and completely committed to everything he got involved with. And, I have so many memories, as I'm sure everybody does. And all I can think is that the last communication I had with Si, which is shortly before he died, was he sent me a new book he just published, a new collection of essays. So I knew he was just keeping on until he left us, and I was so admiring of everything he did, and I'm blessed to have known him.
Close to doing the unveiling. I'm not sure if the mayor has arrived yet. Has the mayor arrived yet? He's on his way. Okay.
MP's here.
The MP's here. Well, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, can we welcome the mayor of Highgate?
No, the MP. MP. You better go forward.
That's not my name.
I'm not sure if the mayor's coming. I hope he might be coming later. But just to say how very proud each of us is in Hornsey and Wood Green of our heritage, and particularly poignant today with being the day before Remembrance Sunday, and very exciting to read about Si's life. I entered the scene working for the successor to another grant, Bernie, worked for David Lammy 17 years ago before I wanted to become an MP. I didn't think this life was going to go this way, but perhaps I didn't think his life was going to end up the way it did either. So wonderful to be with you all, and I'll have a special remembrance for Si tomorrow when we're in Wood Green as well, and we do Hornsey, Wood Green, and then Alexandra Park Road. They're the three that we do tomorrow, so I'll have a special thought for him and the family tomorrow. It's a real honour and privilege to be here today and to say on behalf of all of Hornsey and Wood Green's community, what a wonderful life. Thank you.
Is there anybody who would like to say a few words, actually? Is there anybody who would like to come forward, sir? Lovely pinstripe suit. There. We've got the same tailor.
Let's go, Tree. Right. Hi there, brother. Well, this is not rehearsed nor was it planned, but I thought it would be remiss of me not to say something today, because I've known Si for many, many years, and I've known him in a number of capacities. The very last capacity, besides being a friend, he was also on my committee at the Commonwealth Institute. My name is Godfrey Brandt, and I've done a number of things, the Arts Council, Commonwealth Institute, where I was Deputy Director General and Director of Education. And Si worked alongside me. He was also around when we set up AIMS, and he was on that committee as well. He was always willing to lend a hand and to get in there. He was an activist, as someone said, and he was indeed a lover of people. He loved people, and he'd do anything at all to do that. He also was, however, not an easy one to accommodate. Because of the Commonwealth Institute, I know I invited him onto the board and everything, and one would have thought, an older man, he'd come and sit down and enjoy the ride. No, he wasn't enjoying the ride. He would rock the boat as often as possible and let us know, let the board know what he thought. And I really thank his family for him. I thank God for him. And I'm very pleased to see this day, which I never even imagined was going to happen, of an unveiling of a plaque in his memory. Thank you.
Keep ad-libbing until the mayor comes. Does everybody remember Captain Scarlet? Right, okay. And you all remember, of course, the voice of Mr. Green, yeah? Of course, that was a legendary Sky as well. I've been reliably told your worship, as they have to be called, has arrived. And is about to say a few words. Just before the wonderful Your Worship says his piece, and the plaque is unveiled, we also have the chair of the RAF London branch, who also knew Scott Si, and is a fellow Guyanese as well. So if you don't mind, Peter, I'd like to say a few words. Thank you so much. Peter Ramreka, ladies and gentlemen.
Good afternoon, everyone. Just to say a quick how proud the Royal Air Force Association is with this plaque. We admire Cy Grant to be one of the pioneers of the people from the Caribbean and Africa who came the First World War and the Second World War. I haven't been in either war, although I've been 9 years in the Royal Air Force. And we are delighted that this honour is being given to Flight Lieutenant Cy Grant. So we are tremendously pleased to be here, not only as the Royal Air Force, but me and my fellow Guyanese in the crowd, we all are tremendously proud of this. Thank you.
I'm just going to let Joanne introduce the Mayor. Joanne?
Your Worship.
Okay, I'd like to introduce everyone to your worshipful Mayor, Highgate.
Thank you very much indeed, and I'd just like to say good afternoon. My name is Councillor Stephen Mann, and it's my privilege this year to be the Mayor of the London Borough Haringey, and today I'm deeply honoured to have been asked by the Nubian Jak Community Trust to be a part of this unveiling of the Blue Plaque to celebrate the life of one of Guyana's and Haringey's most eminent sons, Cy Grant. And Cy Grant, I know, had a varied and full life, and we all knew he lived here. And as has been said, as Flight Lieutenant Grant, Cy was a commissioned officer in the Royal Air Force in the Second World War, and he was assigned to 103 Squadron of the Bomber Command based in Lincolnshire, and I think he'd only flown 3 missions to the Ruhr Valley when, as a navigator, his Lancaster was brought down and he was shot down and handed over to the Gestapo, and he became a prisoner of war for the rest of the Second World War. Now, Cy Grant was a talented and much-loved man. He was a husband and father. He lived here in Highgate for 50 years with his wife, Dorothy, and family. He was an actor, writer, activist, barrister, musician, poet, and of course an RAF navigator. I remember him as the voice of Lieutenant Green, a defender of planet Earth in Scarlet, Captain Scarlet and the Mysterons. And I read recently that Cy looked back on that series, as we all do, with great fondness. For me, as a child in the late 50s and 60s, growing up in North London, Cy Grant was a great part of my life. After coming home from school and having my evening meal, I was settled down to watch BBC television current affairs programme called Tonight, which was hosted by Cliff Mitchellmore. The main reason I watched the programme was to hear Cy Grant bringing us the day's news in a novel way by playing his guitar and singing. And he used to say he was, I'll try to do a bit of singing here. Bringing you the news you ought to know on tonight's topical calypso. And it used to make the news really lovely and watchable, and I owe Cy Grant a lot for that. Now, I just want to say a couple of things. We've just finished Black History Month, which is an opportunity each year to celebrate the many contributions that black people have made to our country and to our borough. Here in Haringey, there are many role models to look up to. There is Walter Toll, who over 100 years ago, after years in an orphanage, went on to become a professional footballer for Tottenham Hotspur, and then became the first black commissioned officer to lead British troops during World War I. There is Bernie Grant, who was leader of the Haringey Council and elected MP for Tottenham in 1987, and David Lammy, who was elected as MP for Tottenham in 2000. In 1988, Vernon King was elected as the first black mayor in Haringey, and many have followed. Cy Grant is a role model for everyone in Haringey to look up to. Cy Grant's children said that when they were told about the blue plaque, they said, "Our dad would have been so proud." Today, as Mayor of Haringey, I want to say on behalf of the people of the borough, we are proud to have Cy Grant as a citizen of our borough, Haringey. Thank you very much.
We're going to do a countdown in a minute, just to let you know we've done some really esteemed people. We have done Bernie Grant. So Bernie Grant has a blue plaque up in Haringey as well, in Tottenham, Old Tottenham Town Hall. I think it would be remiss of me if I didn't give anybody who may still want to say a couple of words. I know Sean's got his hand up there, Sean Creighton. So Sean, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, welcome Sean Creighton. Thank you very much.
I didn't put my hand up. Jack's just corralled me in. I think the reason that Jack's asked me to speak is that, like many people here, I'm involved in promoting work on British black history and trying to retell the British story with the proper side of the story. I didn't actually know Cy Grant, but like the Mayor, I remember watching that news programme, thoroughly enjoying the songs, and I can kind of image seeing him now on the telephone screen. And he's someone I kind of saw in films, etc., and he's always been a kind of inspirational person. And so it's an honour to be here and just to say these few words. And I was able, when I gave presentations at the local primary school where I'm a governor yesterday on what remembrance this weekend is all about, telling them that there was going to be this ceremony here today of unveiling, and I'll be showing them photographs next week. Thank you.
We're going to, that moment has come. So, would you like to stage? Samantha, are you around? Sammy? My mic gone off? Okay. We're going to do this as a community, so we're going to count, we're going to do a countdown. If you all like to come around now. Let's all get closer to the source, to the soul that is sight. Okay. Do you remember which one it was, Sam? Do you remember which one it was? Yeah? Can you do a little gentle, because one, where's the lady when I need her? Of course, wonderful tones of the wonderful legendary song. We can just, let's just appreciate that for a few moments, ladies and gentlemen. It's beautiful, it's absolutely beautiful. Okay, we're going to do this after 3. Are we all ready? Got your cameras ready? Anybody doing Facebook Live? That'd help. 21st century, of course. Okay, so after 3. 1, 2, 3. Woo! And here it is, ladies and gentlemen. Cy Grant lives. That plaque will stay there for as long as the building is here. I hope you, Avril, I hope when you do your next tour, you include this, of course. Cy Grant, activist, writer, musician, pioneering actor, and World War RAF navigator, lived here 1962 to 2010. Cy Grant, we salute you. Thanks. Say, ladies and gentlemen, we will be having a reception at Jackson Lane Theatre in the next 15 or so minutes. So I'm sure Tracy and Joanna's going to go down there shortly and prepare the food, of course. But please take your photographs. We shall be here for another 15 minutes or so. And thank you so much again for coming out on this Armistice Day. Thank you.
Thank you, Jack, and the Nubian Trust for everything you've done as well.